So let's move on to the first question. One of my friends wants to join a data entry program in which they are asking him to pay 3,500 rupees to join the company. The company's name is Space Dot. Is it a legitimate company, and why are they asking for money to join the company? Um,
Well, 3,500 may not be a large amount, but why would someone ask you to pay 3,500 to join a company? Completely uh, is unexplainable. So, if any company asks you to pay some money to join them, don't go anywhere close to them, right? You might say it's only 3,500, but there's more to that. They will. I've seen many cases where we train a lot of students, and many of them come back to they tell you that we will give you assured jobs. You come and join our training program, pay only 5,000. We'll give you an assured job which will pay you 20,000 per month. Now, this guy goes and pays the 5,000 and joins the job. And then they tell him, hey, you want to move from 20 to 25, you pay another 5. So by the time he's paid 15K, and then when he finishes his training, they will give him a job. But the first day of the job is so horrible that this guy doesn't go back. So they ensure that these guys are all masters at it. And you can't go and complain because they say, hey, I promised you a job. I gave you a job. You don't like it, not my problem. So be careful.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point you raised. The way that employers can quietly kick you out without actually kicking you out.
True.
Okay, so the second question is about the Aadhaar card number you mentioned. How do you prevent people from taking your Aadhaar card number in the service industry? I think it's in connection to hotels and I think some establishments that take Aadhaar card numbers.
Yeah, see, really you can't, don't give out your Aadhaar card unnecessarily. But however, like you rightly say, hotels have been asking, give your Aadhaar card. For a long time, actually, there was a forum, which there were a few speakers and even I was there. And one thing which, I was voicing out there was, why can't you ask hotels to pick up some other kind of an ID? Why not a PAN card? Why not a PAN card? And then they said, they don't have the address. Why do they need my address? All they need to know is that, hey, I'm an Indian citizen. And if I have a PAN card, I'm either an Indian citizen or I'm an NRI, right? I'm a non-resident Indian. And they don't need address from my Aadhaar card. I can fill in my address. So basically, let's say that don't give out your card unnecessarily. But sometimes you give your card and data theft can happen. So the best way to protect yourself from all that is put your limits on your go. The most important takeaway I would say from today is something very simple. Go online to your bank account, put limits on your daily transactions for your ATM, for your online, for your debit and credit card. So even if you lose small money, right? It might be painful. You might have to swipe your card 2-3 times because of this, but it's better.
Yeah, no, makes sense. Okay, so the third question, very linked to the outcome of this. How do we retrieve money that we have lost in a cyber scam?
Yeah, see, reclaiming money is very, very difficult. We are in India, right? You go to the police station, he tells you, oh, cybercrime. I don't know what is cybercrime. Wait till someone comes who knows what is cybercrime. Very, very interesting story. One of the students, we were doing a program in Bangalore. So he said he went to a police station to file an FIR that he had a cybercrime where his bitcoins were taken out from his wallet. So he went there and he filed a complaint saying, Bitcoin taken from my wallet. The guy there at the station said, you're not supposed to deal with Bitcoin. It's illegal. He put him in jail for three hours till some senior person had to come and tell him it's not illegal. It's unregulated, but not illegal. So our system is such that people don't know the urgency. So, right, you can go and file an FIR later. And that may, but the chances of you using that FIR to get your money when the scamster is caught is 1%, 2%. Even if the scamster is caught, in most cases, he has already used all the money. He doesn't have any money. So the best way to protect yourself, soon as you realize something happens, block your account, call 1930. 1930 will block the scamster's account immediately. And then they will send a notification to that bank saying this amount from this in this account is a fraud. It needs to be transferred back to so-and-so account, to Tasman's account, and it comes back to you. It takes
Right.
2-3 days, but it happens. So 1930 is a national network. It's across the country. Every small city, every small town is connected into it. So they're able to, track it down and stop it faster.
Okay. I think this 1930 is even to me very new information. I've been working for 5 years. So I'm really like it's really interesting to know that there is national nationwide helpline like that.
That's it.
So there is someone who almost sent their money to an MLM scheme, but I think they pulled out at the last minute. So they're asking whether they should change their GPay pin. Because I think they had made a small payment initially when they were collecting details via GPay. Is that something to worry about? Would they have their records? Is GPay pin something like someone can have a better
If it
access
was
to?
an MLM, and if you paid some money and withdrew from it, then good. Do they have your data? That you have to tell me. I don't know. And if at all, what data they have, I'm not sure. I don't think they will have bank account details, etc. So not to worry too much about it. Will you get your money back? I don't think so. But you're lucky at least you stopped it midway, because I think the government is cracking down on multi-level marketing companies. That's why you can see today Amitabh Bachchan advertising for Amway, because they are now starting to open their own outlets and getting away from the MLM model.
Okay, okay. Okay, so there is another question regarding auto debit. You had mentioned about
Yes, yeah.
Netflix. So there are services like Netflix that you have to use auto debit. You don't have an option to pay manually. So is there some way to circumvent this, or is there something we
Like,
could complain somewhere we can complain against this?
yeah, I've tried Netflix, but I don't think there is a solution for Netflix at the moment. But a friend of mine told me that he found a solution for Amazon Prime, where he was able to stop the auto debit and pay it by himself every month. Something like you can do for your Tata Sky. You can pay, right? You either do an auto debit or you go log in and pay, because you get a message on your screen. It's no ending. So he was able to do it, he said, with Amazon. But with Netflix, so far, no luck. But generally, whenever there is an auto debit, you will get a message from your bank saying it's an auto debit, and the next debit will happen on so and so date. If you want, cancel it.
Okay, okay. Um, okay, I had a question related to this, what you just said, but I just go through the other two questions and come back. So what is the risk of using card tapping? Don't Usually they check at supermarkets before tapping during payment. Is this risky?
Yeah, what is the danger of card tapping is if you have a large limit on card tapping, and if you by chance lose your card, right, anyone who picks it up can go and tap it and take huge money out. So that is a simple logic. So if you want card tapping, right, some of us feel, it's very stylistic, just, like they show on the ad, just tap your card arms over. Like, so what big difference? You put your card and type the number. Like during COVID, it was useful. People were saying, I don't want to use it, I'll tap it. But if you lose your card, you can lose big money, right? So even today, I think I've set 1,000 rupees as my tapping limit. If it's above that, no tapping. I have to put in my card and do it.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I've heard like stories of if you keep your card, if you have this auto tap thing and you keep your card in the front pocket, and if someone passes by, they can just tap and get money. Is that like this? Could that actually happen?
I don't think we have that kind of technology here yet. Maybe happening in other countries. I don't think we have the technology here yet, and thankful for that. So sometimes we should be thankful we are not that technologically advanced, even though we're getting there. But I don't think. I think that is rumors. I don't think true.
Okay. Okay. Okay, that's good to know. Okay. Um, every shop from ice cream, like from ice cream shops, clothing shops, when they are billing, they immediately ask for your phone number. Um, if why do they do that? And isn't this risky? And is this allowed?
Phone number is basically for marketing. Yeah, everyone wants your number to market, right? Today, database is, see, once this online shopping and websites have come, many of these companies who raise capital, uh, the strongest asset is not the profits they make. The strongest asset is the database. So the database, is the strong asset. They say, oh, we have 10,000 clients. This is the name, this is the number. So tomorrow we can use that to, if we are selling, ice cream today, tomorrow we can sell them cool drinks, and we can sell them something to eat, and we can sell them dairy product. So basically they want a number to market, to show their database and use it. Don't unnecessarily give it out. If you are very sure that you're not, you don't want these guys to keep sending you, messages every time and trouble you, I don't give it out. If it's something where you like to be notified if there is something, then give it out. For example, if I want to go and watch an IPL match today in Chennai, I need to know when they're selling tickets, because these guys don't tell you in advance. So you have to give your number. So they alert you, our tickets going to be available, then buy. But if I go to a clothes shop and that guy says, sir, I want a number because I'll alert you when the next sale. Not interested. I'll find out when the next sale. And anyway, it will be on the paper or the website or whatever.
Yeah, I had a very interesting experience in Pantaloons in Bangalore where they wouldn't let me take the product without giving my phone number. So I had to call the manager and he still wouldn't let me go. So I finally left without the product. But this
Give them some number, no?
just give some number would just be the solution. Okay, so you mentioned that we have very less, our technology is not great, but the
No, no,
awareness about,
I'm not saying it's not great. It's
no, no,
not
no,
as
I know.
advanced as some countries, yeah.
Yeah, we have less people, less technology trying to scam us, hopefully. But the awareness on cybercrime is also a little limited in India. Why do you think that is so?
Uh, I think simply because for a long, see, if you notice cybercrime, it happens in such a way that these guys are not idiots; they are smart. If you look at some of these, real-time documentaries, you will see that these cybercrime guys, they take employees from top colleges. They are not, and they make it all appear that everything is fine, what they're doing, and they have swanky offices. So these guys are smart guys. So generally, what they do is that uh, they are smarter than you, and they are not going to be using basic stuff to try and loot it. So they're continuously improvising. So sorry, what was your final question? What was it? Sorry, I digressed a little.
Why do you feel or do you feel the cybercrime awareness in India is
Cybercrime
limited?
awareness. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I'll give you an example. So what happens is, so these guys initially when they started scamming, they chose customers from public sector banks, from State Bank of India. So if you're with HDFC, ICICI, and other things, you feel that you are not, affected. And SBI, who's getting affected, is only informing their clients about, be careful about this, be careful about that. Little while later, they move to other banks, and slowly, I think, in the last 3-4 months, private sector banks have been scammed. I think 2 months back, HDFC, if you are a HDFC bank client, you were swamped that whole month with frauds. Now HDFC is stopped. It is moved to ICICI now. So what happens is each bank is educating their own customer. It is only now that the government itself is saying, hey, we need to educate people more. Like this 1930 itself is such a useful thing, but it's not very well advertised. Right? You get some, it comes in the newspaper once in a while, 1930, but it is not well advertised because each bank wants to protect only their customers. And the central agency is not effective enough. Maybe they don't have a budget to spread this awareness of cybercrime wholly. Even though I saw some of there's a nice cartoon based story which cybercrime division has brought up, which is very useful if someone goes through.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I think if you could share that later with Jobin, we could share that with the audience because that sounds really interesting. Um, and I think also linked to this question, what you were just answering, how should big big data database systems be protected against cybercrime?
What was the question? How does big data companies?
How should big data companies be protected against the activities of cyber criminals?
How should they be protected?
I think, or how should they protect
I
themselves?
think they
Maybe
should
a more
protect
accurate.
themselves, right? If they call themselves big data companies and if they take data from us, it is their responsibility to protect our data. So they need to have multiple kind of security systems. I don't know whether any one of you follows international news, but if you watch CNN and all sometime back, Google was pulled up, Twitter was pulled up, they were all, Facebook was pulled up because they were not having proper systems to manage clients' confidential data, and it was being leaked. And they were pulled up in Parliament and questioned in Parliament and warned in Parliament and fined in Parliament. And some of them had to pay people compensation for the loss of data. Well, unfortunately, that won't happen here. So big data companies have to take the responsibility to do it. Luckily for us, most of our the big data companies are situated outside India. So there is a little bit of seriousness about this because they can have a huge liability. But as more and more big data companies come into India, we need more regulation to ensure that they spend more money to protect our data.
And I think there's one more really interesting question. Um, how will AI increase cyber fraud?
Oh, wow. How will AI increase cyber fraud? Well, AI can work two ways, right? It can increase cyber fraud, it can help us protect ourselves from cyber fraud. But will AI increase cyber fraud? Oh, absolutely. It can more see let's look at this way. Artificial intelligence is not going to tell the guys new ways to invent for them to take money out of you. Artificial intelligence will take an idea of cybercrime idea and multiply it many times. For example, today if a guy is going to make calls to 1,000 people a day, right, his BPO or whatever he wants to call it, makes 1,000 calls a day to people, try and scam them. Artificial intelligence will take that and make it 10,000. It will be able to call 10,000 people. So it can multiply the magnitude of the crime. It cannot create new crime. I don't think it has the wherewithal to be able to create new crime. But artificial intelligence can be an impediment. I'll give you an example. I had a problem with my online banking. So I called HDFC Bank. Now, HDFC Bank on the IVR today has made it all artificial intelligence. So you get a nice lady's voice saying, "Hello, I'm your relationship manager. Tell me your problem." Now I tell her my problem. My online banking has been blocked. So when it's blocked, I'm wondering what's happened, whether there's some problem. So I'm saying my online banking has been blocked. So artificial intelligence doesn't understand that. It says, "Can you kindly repeat again?" So I say, "My online banking not working." Artificial intelligence again tells you, "Make it simpler. Tell me in simpler words." So now what do I tell them after that? Online banking not working. Sorry, we cannot understand that. So by the time that happened, it's 5 minutes. Now, luckily, my online banking was blocked for some other reason, not because someone tried to take the money out. But if someone took the money out and if I called and artificial intelligence was asking me 10,000 questions before they solved my problem, I'm dead. So artificial intelligence still has its problems. As long as it has its problems, we have less problems. But at some point of time, it will be used. It will help the scamsters. It can also help us, but it can only help the scammers increase the volume. It cannot create new scams. The new scams have to be a human's idea.
Okay, okay. Yeah, so that means that will probably eliminate or rather multiply the work of
Absolutely,
telecallers and
absolutely.
the like. Okay, okay. So there are some more questions about some more practical questions. I think people who've experienced things like the auto debit and debiting being taken away wrongly. So, is there a way to reverse auto debit? A friend of mine canceled the auto debit at the last minute, but her card was charged. So she's not been able to get the money back. Is there a way to reverse this?
So basically, escalate it, right to the, see, every bank will have a grievance manager, write to them. You find that the more you go on top of the ladder, you will get your money. It may take 2 to 3 emails. Find out who's the grievance officer, then find out the head of the grievance officer, find out the head of cards, find out his email number. All of them are public domain today. Tweet is very powerful. You tweet, tagging the MD or the someone of the company, most likely you'll get your money back. Tweets are very powerful.
Okay, yeah. So there's another person who's spoken about being debited wrongly on his FASTag from his FASTag wallet, which has been debited wrongly at times, and reporting every time through the portal is complex. Is there any way I can escalate and get a permanent solution?
Change your bank which you attach to your FASTag. That is my best solution to you. Change the bank. Probably this bank is not efficient enough. Updating your FASTag is also a big scam. A lot of people claim that they will do it for you, especially elder people. They ask you for your all details. They say that give me your bank account details, give me your OTP, I will do the transfer, I will credit your FASTag, and then they take the money out. So that is also a scam. But about this wrong debits, it's a bank issue. Change. If you have another bank, change it to that.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. There is someone who's asked a very interesting question about cyber espionage. What is cyber espionage?
Yeah, I'm not qualified to get into cyber espionage. If I did, I won't be sitting here. It's a whole new world. It's a specialty. That's something which really I honestly can't answer. But I can just by experience tell you, the cyber crimes involved in finance. In fact, there's so much, cyber crime happening, right? Impersonation, harassment, pornography, so many things that's happening. So one needs that you have specialization in each of this. So if you are interested in taking up the topic as a study, you should do it. It's, I think, a great opportunity, a great career. But me, sorry, I don't know much about it.
Thank you so much for trying, though. Okay, so there is someone who's asked about the monthly gold schemes. I have invested 20 to 25% income in the monthly gold schemes. Is this a good idea? I'm in my early 20s, and what are the other ways that I can invest?
Look, my suggestion to you is this too, right? See, one is if you invested in a monthly gold scheme in some gold company, the chances of it going bust is 10%, 5%, but there is a chance, right? Today, we never know, right? There are some big names which are getting into trouble, right? If India's or the world's second richest man can get into trouble, then anyone can get into trouble. So be careful about that. If you're young, 20 years old, I would strongly recommend to you, invest into e-gold. Open a stockbroking account and buy electronic gold, the nifty bees which I was talking to you about, because you get it 10% cheaper than physical gold, because there's no GST, there is no excise duty, there's no making charges. So you get it 10% cheaper, you get it in electronic form, so the storage is not a problem. You can buy it today, you can sell it tomorrow, no making charges, no wasted charges when you sell, buy. It is the best way of investing in gold. The only problem, you won't be able to physically wear it.
Okay, yeah, I think that's a great advice for those who want to invest in this age group. There is our last question from someone about ID spoofing. Can you tell us about ID spoofing?
Well, ID spoofing is something which you see happening every day, where people can take your ID and use your ID to clone some of your personal usage items like a SIM card. They can even clone an identification card of yours, like if you are working somewhere. They can create a visiting card with your name, but with their address. So those kind of things are happening. That's very difficult to stop and control. The only way you can do it, as like you rightly said, try and avoid giving out personal data whenever you can. Other way of ID spoofing happening, you see a lot of it happening on social media, where they, like, for example, if your name is Tasman Korean on Insta, let's say you are Tasman Korean as Insta, they will just put Tasman.Korean, right? And they will impersonate you and send out requests to all your friends, and then they will think, oh, maybe this is a new account of yours, and they will accept, and then they ask them for money, or they pass comments, or sometimes even put some nasty videos on, and you have to the only way you will know is when someone tells you, hey, did you send this, or I'm surprised you sent this, or did you ask for money, and then it's blocked and you can report it.
Yeah, no, I think something similar to what you said about the social media ID spoofing happened recently to my mom and another person we knew. I think it was the same person also. They just added an underscore after their names. But thankfully they found it out early. So we've reached the end of our questions.